Go ahead.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. So, thank you for this golden opportunity to speak on this 2021 global webinar on virology and vaccine development. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Annapurna Kari from the Department of Public Health, working as lecturer, JN. So, first, let me introduce keep calm and vaccine on. So we need to get vaccinated, control this pandemic. Now I'll start with my presentation. So vaccines, I'll just briefly introduce about the vaccines. Vaccine, a suspension of weakened, killed or fragmented microorganism or toxins or of antibodies or lymphocytes that is administered primarily to prevent diseases. Different types of vaccines work in different ways to offer protection. With all types of vaccines, the body is left with a supply of memory, T lymphocytes as well as B lymphocytes that will remember how to fight that virus in future. COVID-19 vaccines, SARS-CoV-2, as we all know, it is a virus which is creating a havoc and is a new virus, okay, which has created a pandemic all over the world. And everyone is like panicked about this virus. COVID-19 vaccines are designed to induce antibody response that target viral proteins involved in cellular entry to achieve neutralizing activity in serum and mucosal secretions. Now, like in India, as we have started with the vaccination procedures, so many concerns and issues are arising in India, in everyone, whether it is a literate person or illiterate person, whomever it is. Okay, so in that, 10 common questions asked about COVID-19 vaccines are: what are the COVID-19 vaccines currently authorized for human use globally, and which vaccines are available in India? How do COVID-19 vaccines work? What do COVID-19 vaccines protect against? Disease or infection? So, what is India's COVID-19 vaccination plan? And should I take COVID-19 vaccine? What are the side effects of COVID-19 vaccination? And should I take vaccine if I'm already infected or have anti-SARS-CoV-2 antibodies? With the COVID-19 vaccine, will the COVID-19 vaccine protect against all variants of COVID-19 vaccination? So now currently authorized for emergency use vaccines. Okay, so these are nucleotide-based vaccine candidates, subunit vaccine candidates, viral vector-based vaccine candidates, attenuated vaccine candidates, and inactivated vaccine candidates. So here, inactivated vaccine candidates, we have Covaxin. And in viral vector-based vaccine candidates, Sputnik is there and Covishield is there. And nucleotide-based vaccine candidates are COVID-19 vaccines. So what are the differences between Covaxin? Because in India, most widely used vaccines are Covaxin and Covishield. That is currently available and most widely used vaccines. So we'll see just the differences between Covaxin and Covishield. The Covaxin is developed by Bharat Biotech ICMR and Covishield is developed by Serum Institute of India. Vaccine type is here Covaxin, it is inactivated, and Covishield is non-replicating viral vector. Covaxin efficacy is still not understood, and this Covishield, it is 70.42 overall. And storage temperature is same for both, that is 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. And doses in Covaxin, 2 doses, that is 0, and after 14 days, 1 more dose. And for this Covishield, after first dose of injection, second dose of vaccination is 2.5 months to 3 months. And Indian availability, first half 2021, and availability of Covishield is expect a first batch in 7 to 10 days. The price of the Covaxin is not decided, and price of Covishield is 200 per dose to government. Now we'll see the types of vaccine. So types of vaccine. Now we have like different types of vaccine here. DNA and RNA vaccine. And next is inactivated. Next is subunit, and next is viral vector. So we'll see how they work and advantages, disadvantages, and existing examples, etc. This DNA and RNA vaccine use and inactivated vaccine uses the whole virus of heat or chemicals. And this vaccine uses a piece of virus surface to focus your immune system on a single target. Next, Hindi the So here advantages of DNA and RNA viruses: easy and quick to design. It stimulates a robust immune system response without causing serious diseases. And this inactivated vaccine safe because the virus already dead and easy to make. And this it focuses the immune response on the most important part of the virus for protection and cannot cause virus for protection and cannot cause infection. Live viruses tend to elicit stronger immune responses than dead viruses or subunit vaccines. Now, disadvantages are this DNA and RNA viruses never been done before. There are no licensed DNA or RNA vaccines currently in use. May not be safe for those with compromised immune system and not as effective as live virus. Some previous inactivated vaccines have made the disease worse. Safety for the novel coronavirus needs to be shown in the clinical trials. This may not stimulate a strong response. Other chemicals may need to be added to boost long-term immunity. And the subunit important to pick a viral vector that is truly safe. An immune response to the viral vector could make the vaccine less effective. Existing examples are here DNA and RNA viruses, none. And here the live attenuated measles, mumps, and rubella chickenpox. Here inactivated are polio and pertussis, hepatitis C, human papillomavirus, Ebola, and veterinary medicines. Group testing this approach for COVID-19 is Moderna, that is RNA virus, and Inovio, that is DNA. Codagenix, Indian Immunological Limited. Sinovac, Sinopharm, Bharat Biotech, and this is Novavax, Adaptvac. Okay, University of Oxford and AstraZeneca, CanSino Biological, Johnson & Johnson. So next we'll see India COVID-19 vaccine update. So currently, as I have told, Covishield and Covaxin are available. So Covishield, Oxford University, AstraZeneca in partnership with Serum Institute, adenovirus vector licensed for emergency utilization authorization, use authorization in India. Covaxin, it is prepared by Bharat Biotech in partnership with ICMR, and it is inactivated vaccine licensed for emergency use authorization in India, that is in phase 3, will include adjuvant. And Sputnik, that is Russia licensed to Reddy Labs, India, adenovirus vectored licensed in India. ZyCoV-D, Zydus Cadila, DNA vaccine phase 3. Now, we'll see the COVID-19 vaccine update. So what is the goal of vaccination? So goal of our vaccination is to create immunity in the host to prevent disease if the infectious pathogen is encountered. And to mitigate the public health, economic, and societal impacts of the virus, a vaccine is urgently needed. So we all know this pandemic has created a havoc, and our economic status, societal impacts, or mental health, everything has gone down. So we need to urgently mitigate all these public health problems. And usually designed to induce antibody responses that target viral proteins involved in cellular entry to achieve neutralizing activity in serum and mucosal secretions. SARS-CoV-2 vaccine development initiated in early January 2020 when the genome sequence became available. So for any vaccine, we need like genome sequencing very necessarily. So transmission and life cycle of SARS-CoV-2 causing COVID-19. Okay, so we'll see just how it transmits and what is the life cycle of this COVID virus. Okay, first this virus enters the oral or respiratory cells. As we know, the route is like either oral cavity or nasal cavity, and virus enters the epithelium. Second stage is virus enters the epithelium. Third stage is it fuses with the vesicle and its RNA is released. And fourth stage is virus assembly, and fifth stage is virus releases. Okay, and after that, this virus is ingested by the antigen presenting cells. And after this ingestion, this our immune response starts. Okay, when this antigen presenting cells presents the cell to the T helper cells. Okay, so then T helper cells, B cells, and cytotoxic T cells, all they come into action, and these infected cells are destroyed and antibodies are produced. So, and again, memory beta cells and T cells are created, like which are there in the body, and whenever again this COVID-19 virus or SARS-CoV-2 virus enters our body, these memory beta cells and C cells come into action and they prevent the reinfection or they fight with the virus. Okay, and here when we take the vaccination, this anti-SARS-CoV-2 antibodies are produced. So here, adaptive immunity, how our immunity is adapted. Okay, vaccine work based on the body's adaptive immune response. This simplified graphic shows the principles of the adaptive response to SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes the COVID-19 vaccine. Just I'll explain it. The virus enters the body where it replicates inside the cells, and eventually the virus is ingested by an antigen presenting cell such as dendritic cell, which presents the antigen for recognition by the immune system. Then afterwards, the antigen is recognized by the T helper cells, which recruit other immune cells to help. After third stage, this antibody mediated immunity starts, that is beta cells and specific antibodies against SARS-CoV-2 are made by beta cells. Then after that, antibodies, these antibodies bind with the virus antigens attaching to the host cells or tag the pathogens for destruction by macrophages and killer cells. After that, the sixth stage is cytotoxic T cells. They destroyed the cell-mediated immunity is activated. Okay, it comes into the action, and cytotoxic T cells are destroy cells infected by the virus. And seventh stage is some B and T immune cells remain in the body after infection to provide immunological memory. So the endpoint for all vaccines currently authorized for emergency use is it protects against these vaccines, they protect against the disease. But the vaccine does not guarantee protection against the infection. Like if when our body's immunity goes down, okay, and this viral load is more, then there are chances of getting infected again. Okay, then infection can occur in vaccinated individuals. They can transmit infection to others also. So it is not like 100% guarantee. The vaccinated individuals are not getting infection. Now we'll see how do we know vaccines work. So as we all know, like it is very well understood. But again, I would like to just narrate it. It can indeed takes several years to develop a vaccine. Okay, as we all know, like so many experimental studies will be going on, and vaccine production will be going on by different researchers and by different countries. After proof of concept has been established in research laboratories, controlled manufacturing processes are developed to make stable and highly pure products that are tested on animals and then on humans for safety and effectiveness. Clinical trials in human beings are carried out in 3 phases to seek specific answers. So we'll see how these testing and monitoring they take place. Okay. Preclinical testing. So we all know, as we all know, test antigens and test adjuvants use animal models. That is, first lower animals are used, then higher animals are used for testing of these drugs or whatever vaccines. Okay, first lower animals like mouse, parrot are used, then rhesus macaque like higher animals are used. So use information from other related viruses. It takes around 5 to 10 years to carry out these preclinical testings. Then coming to clinical is tested here. A small dose is tested among a small number of volunteers, that is in 2 digits, that is 40s or 50s. Okay, and here they take the high risk population only, at risk population, and this phase only it will take 3 years. And second phase is larger number of volunteers, that is in hundreds who are at risk. They are taken into consideration and they are tested upon. It also takes around 3 years. And phase 3 is large number from general population, that is thousands. It also takes around 3 years. Then after these clinical testing, first phase, second phase, and third phase. And here mass vaccination. Okay, as we all know, like we have so many vaccines, like polio vaccine is there, measles is there. So all how we like mass vaccination is done. The same way, monitoring stages like stage 4 and mass vaccination. It is a normal process of production of the vaccines or any other drugs. But here in SARS-CoV-2, what happened? 6 to 9 months simultaneously, these preclinical testings have occurred, and clinical testings also 6 to 9 months simultaneously. Now we'll see the difference between classical vaccines and COVID-19 vaccines. So preclinical stage, as I have told, 18 to 30 months. Preclinical stage here, 0 months. Phase 1, dozens of volunteers, that is 30 months. They have taken almost. They will take almost. And phase 1 is dozens of volunteers, that is 6 months. Phase 2 is hundreds of volunteers for 30 to 32 months. And here phase 2 in COVID-19 vaccines, only hundreds of volunteers for 6 months. Phase 3 is thousands of phase 3s, like within months only, like 0 months only, they have tested. And approval, manufacturing, vaccination, almost for classical vaccination, it is 12 to 24 months. And for COVID-19 vaccines, it is like within 6 months, billions of doses have been produced. So this is the same thing again. We'll move to the next slide. How we'll compare. So here few companies are there, and doses, what all doses they are giving and how effective it is, and storage and cost of the vaccine. So company first is Oxford Uni AstraZeneca, that is the type of vaccine is viral vector, genetically modified virus, 2 doses. It is 62 to 90% effective, and regular fridge temperature is enough for storage, and cost is around $4. And in Moderna, RNA, it is modernized RNA, part of virus gel, and here also 2 doses, but effectiveness is 95%. Storage is minus 20 degrees Celsius up to 6 months. And the cost is a little bit higher side, it is $33. And a Pfizer BioNTech, it is RNA virus and 2 doses, 95% effectiveness, and storage is minus 70 degrees Celsius, and cost is $20. Then Sputnik V, so it is a viral vector and 2 doses, 92% effectiveness, regular freeze temperature is enough, and cost is $10. And here Covaxin, okay, so BBIL India, Covaxin, so killed whole virus vaccine, and 2 doses again, 4 weeks apart, 70 to 80% effectiveness, regular freeze temperature is enough, and cost is 400 to 1000 rupees. Now, how COVID-19 vaccination phased rollout of is taking place? So, vaccine rollout will take place in phased manner based on the vaccine availability. So, phase 1 is specific priority groups like healthcare workers, frontline workers, persons above 50 years, persons with comorbidities who are at higher risk of contracting the disease. So, they are covered on the equitable basis. To be covered, and equitable accessibility should be there for this. That's why phase 1, they have included all the high risk group. And phase 2 is from April 1st, like it has started, all the adults between 45 to 60 years. And phase 3, all the adults between 18 to 45 years. So these are 3 phases where we are considering the vaccination procedure. Registration process and details of the vaccination sessions will be provided closer to the implementation period. Next is vaccination process in India. Okay, so which are the steps to get a COVID jab? Okay, first one is checking of registration status, verification of the photo ID. Here in India, we have Aadhaar cards for this photo IDs, and verification of documents in the COVID system, that is Aadhaar card. It is widely used for verification after registration. Then third step is administration of COVID vaccination shot. Then SMS is generated. Okay, after completion of vaccination process, details are sent through the SMS for booster shot. Then fifth step is health monitoring for half an hour. Okay, the patient is or the participant is retained in the healthcare unit. Okay, where health is monitored for half an hour to see whether any adverse events occur or any allergic reactions occur. So after half an hour, the patient is, the participant is sent back. So, and doctors and senior health officials present in every center to oversee operations to ensure adequate availability of vaccines and logistics. Now, Dawai bhi or Kadai bhi, this is in Hindi, like how will I get vaccination information after registration? How we are going to get? After registration, you will receive SMS messages on the registered mobile number. First SMS will be generated for confirmation of registration. Then second SMS will be generated mentioning the date, time and place of vaccination. Third SMS will be generated for completion of vaccination and due date for next vaccine. Fourth SMS will be after completion of second dose along with link for digital certification. Now, precautions for COVID-19 vaccination. So important facts one should know. Authorized age group is COVID-19 vaccination is indicated only for 18 years and above, as we all know, under the emergency use authorization. Co-administration of vaccines, COVID-19 vaccine and other vaccines should be separated by an interval of at least 14 days if required. And interchangeability of COVID-19 vaccine is not permitted, as like we have already seen, like different vaccines are manufactured differently. So second dose should also be the same vaccine which was administered as the first dose. Who all should avoid vaccination temporarily? So COVID-19 vaccination to be deferred for 4 to 8 weeks after recovery in the following conditions. COVID-19 patients who have been given anti-COVID-19 monoclonal antibodies or convalescent plasma acutely unwell and hospitalized patients due to any illness. So all these should be deferred. And who all should avoid getting vaccination? Persons with history of anaphylactic or allergic reactions to previous dose of COVID-19 vaccine, and immediate or delayed onset anaphylaxis or allergic reaction to vaccines or injectable therapies, pharmaceutical products, food items, etc. Then pregnancy and lactation. Pregnant lactating mothers and women who are not sure of their pregnancy should not receive COVID-19 vaccine at this time. Persons with the following conditions can be vaccinated. So here, like persons with a past history of COVID-19 infection and or RT-PCR positive illness, history of chronic diseases and morbidities like cardiac, neurological, pulmonary, metabolic, renal, and malignancies, so which are systematic diseases and morbidities. Immunodeficiency, that is HIV patients on immune suppression due to any condition. The persons to the COVID-19 vaccines may be less in these individuals. So even they can be vaccinated without any hindrance. Who all should take special precautions? Vaccine should be administered with caution in persons with a history of any bleeding or coagulation disorders, such as clotting factor deficiency, coagulopathy, or platelet disorders. Now we'll see what are the side effects of COVID vaccination. So common side effects which occur in 1 in 10 people: pain at the site of injection, redness, sore feeling, chills, mild fever, that is 22 to 48 hours, headache, malaise, fatigue, joint pain or muscle pains, flu-like symptoms, giddiness, vomiting. These are the very common side effects. And uncommon side effects are, which may occur in 1 in 100 people: rashes, itching, tingling in the lips, swollen lips, difficulty in breathing, fainting, and abdominal pain. Now we'll see the mutant map, which all viruses have mutated. Okay, over the past few months, several COVID variants have emerged in different parts of the world. Now, current mutation is, like, as we all know, it is Delta virus. This virus has converted into Delta virus. So first detected is like B1.351 South African variant, possible drop in vaccine effectiveness, and B1.117 UK variant, it is spreads to 50 to 70% more quickly, and P.1, that is Brazil variant, better at evading immune response, and B1.617, it has evolved in India, Maharashtra. So clinical effects are unknown here. And B1.427 California, USA, 20% increased transmissibility. Then levels of spread with India. UK variant, it spreads more, as we all know, like 10.9%, and Indian variant 4.8%, South African variant 0.7%. Now the concern is, should those already infected take the vaccine? It is advisable to take the vaccine because we have not completely understood the duration of protection following a natural infection. Available data suggests that neutralization antibodies wane off in 3 to 5 months, but other arms of the immune response are likely to protect longer. If vaccine supplies are limited, which is unlikely in India, people with prior infection may delay their vaccination by a few months. Will the vaccines work against variant viruses? Yes. So to some extent, all the vaccines work against variant viruses. Though coronaviruses mutate slower than other RNA viruses, new variants have emerged independently in UK, South Africa, and Brazil that have not spread over 50 countries. That have now spread over 50 countries, including India. These viruses have key changes in the spike protein, allowing them to better attach to and enter cells. These they multiply and transmit more efficiently, estimated at 30 to 70% more efficiently for the UK variant. A key mutation called N51Y is found in the receptor binding domain of the spike protein, which is also the target of virus neutralizing antibodies. While work is on in multiple laboratories to directly test this, some early data show that viruses with variations do show that antibodies in vaccines that neutralize the UK variant to a lesser extent. The same is not true for South African variant. So continue following COVID appropriate behavior or CAB during and after the vaccination. So many people in India only, they are so much like confused whether to follow the COVID appropriate behavior or no. And so many people who are like vaccinated with both the doses, they are very much negligent in following this COVID appropriate behavior. But it is very, very important to follow this. So wear a mask or face cover, then practice frequent hand washing or use hand sanitization, maintain 6 feet physical distance. If any symptoms develop, promptly self-isolate. If any symptoms develop, serious symptoms develop, then promptly seek medical assistance. So all these COVID measures have to be followed even after the vaccination. So we'll see what are the myths regarding COVID-19 vaccines. So, and what are the facts which are related to this vaccines? So, myth is it was rushed and it is not safe because the vaccine is produced within few days. So everyone believes that it is not, the vaccine is not safe. So, but researchers took no safety shortcuts. The fact is, researchers took no safety shortcuts. Large studies show the vaccine is safe. And one more myth is it changes your DNA. So the fact is it's impossible for vaccine to change your DNA. And third myth is it can give you COVID-19. So the vaccine does not contain a live virus strain. So it is not harmful. It will give protection against the virus instead of causing COVID-19 disease. So one more myth is it contains egg protein. So again, it is a myth. The fact is it doesn't have egg proteins and can be given to people with egg allergies. Fourth is it causes severe side effects. The fact is for most the vaccine causes mild side effects that resolve in a few days. And fifth myth is sixth myth is it makes women infertile. So there is no evidence that the vaccine causes infertility. So these are all myths and the very facts which are available to us. And coming to the summary, so SARS-CoV-2 virus is a new virus that is, so it is again left to us whether we are going to get ourselves infected or whether we are going to get vaccinated and be safe. So again, the decision is left to the people. So as much as possible, we need to get vaccinated and end this spread of COVID-19 and end this pandemic. So all COVID-19 vaccines released for emergency authorization use are safe. Okay, to live is a risk for a death. So weigh your options, risk versus benefits ratio. Then vaccination strategy in most countries is being rolled out in phased manner, giving priorities to the vulnerable first. So as we all know, like priority should be given to the grassroots level health workers and the people with comorbidities and elderly people who are at high risk of getting the disease. And continuing COVID appropriate behavior is essential until vast majority are vaccinated. So, and the disclaimer is all information in this talk is based on scientific evidence from published literature. My acknowledgements to Dr. V. Ravi, Professor of Neurovirology, and Dr. Suresh Krishna Rao, Public Health Consultant. I have no conflict of interest to declare, no shares in any vaccine companies, and whatever I have told is factual and not prescriptive. Thank you. One easy way to stay safe is to get vaccinated. So I myself, I have got my vaccine 19 done. So please, I request everyone to get vaccinated.
Thank you so much, Doctor. You have given us such a valuable information for all of us. Now the session is open for questions. If anyone had any questions, please drop your questions in the chat box. Repeat, if anyone had any questions, please drop your questions in the chat box or else unmute your audio and pose your questions to Dr. Annapurna Khare. We have already left the mail ID of Dr. Annapurna Khare so that you can reach her through the mail if you have any questions on that topic. Okay, Doctor, thank you for your valuable presentation. If anyone had any questions in future, they'll reach.
Please, all around, I thank. It was an immense pleasure to present this presentation in a global webinar on virology and vaccine development. So I sincerely thank you for giving me such an opportunity. That it is an amazing opportunity to present myself here regarding COVID-19 vaccines. So I thank and I extend my gratitude towards the organizer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. Now we'll be heading for
Questions like please participants, if you are having any questions, please feel free to ask the questions.
Yeah, we already left the mail ID of Dr. Annapurna Kari so that you can reach her through the mail if you have any questions. Yeah, doctor, you have a question here down below. Why someone who received plasma should not be vaccinated?
Pardon me?
Why someone who received plasma should not be vaccinated?
Because they'll be acting and their action will be there. So until and unless that action wears off, the one should not get the vaccination done. So, and even after the COVID-19 this infection also, you should not get vaccinated immediately. So that gap should be there. That gap of 14 days to 1 month, that gap should be maintained. And after that, the vaccination should be received. Because body's natural mechanism will be there, no? In that. Already it will be acting.
I might like to also add that if people get plasma, the antibodies in the plasma might neutralize the vaccine.
Yeah, that is also, that may, yeah.
Before it has a chance to.
Yeah. That's right. Then that natural and the neutralization will be there. Natural bodies, antibodies, and this vaccine generated antibodies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If anyone had any more questions, drop your questions in the chat box or else unmute your audio and post the questions for Dr. Annapurna Kari.
No questions?
Okay, I'm sorry. One of my host member has got disconnected, so she has some issues. Okay, let me take this opportunity to introduce myself. Myself Prakash. I am the co-host also. Thank you very much, Dr. Annapurna Kari, for the wonderful presentation.
My pleasure, sir.
And I'll share Dr. Annapurna Kari's email ID in the chat box. So if anyone have any questions in the further, you can contact her directly, so that Dr. Kari will be answering all your questions. Thank you very much once again, and we'll be moving forward to the next presentation.
So I thank once again the organizers for giving me such a golden opportunity, and I request
The next presentation is from Pedram